How are we doing, guys? We're back again. Another game coming in thick and fast. It's a Leeds United not opposition preview, official match preview for Everton. I've got the words mixed up, but we have got the big man, Big Lou from LS11 joining us. How are you doing, mate?
Yeah, really good, mate. Really good. How are you?
Yeah, not bad at all, mate. Not bad at all. Still buzzing from Sunday, to be honest with you, mate. And I'll be honest, we did the opposition preview with the Everton fans last night and both predicted draws, to be fair, which normally suggests I think they're going to lose the game. That's what Matt Hayes told me. Whenever you predict a draw, you're pretty much thinking you're going to lose. That's what Matt Hayes always says. But that makes me feel a lot better about it, to be honest, mate. The only slight thing that makes me feel a little bit anxious is Jordan Pickford's out. So it does mean Jordan Pickford will not play in this game, which is a blow to us. It is.
Yeah, but I mean, confidence is going to be sky high after that Leicester result. So we should be going into this game thinking we can win, regardless of the fact we've already beaten them once this season as well. So yeah, I'm confident.
Can we get a bit of love for Joe Wayman's new chair? Joe Wayman's new chair, he's proud of it. He's going to swivel like this. He's going to be swiveling like this, shaking the hips like this, shaking the hips like this.
I'm up in the game, Oscar. Up in the game, my friend. You never know. You might see me with a green screen soon enough. No, I'm doing well, though, mate. I'm doing well. Really enjoyed your opposition preview last night. If you haven't watched that, guys, make sure you watch it. It was really good and really insightful. And, yeah, it was quite interesting to hear them being so downbeat, as it were, when it came to this result. I think they're really fearful of Leeds United. And I'm like Lou. Like, listen, you know, I'm always predicting wins. And I did say, and hopefully we can have a little chat about Leicester because we haven't really had the chance to do it lately. Because there's such the quick turnaround, but you know it was a great performance, and I look at Everton and I see this game as a very, very winnable one for Leeds United, and it's one that I'm really, really confident about. If I'm being totally honest, I think we could win the game 2-0. I'm that confident. Listen, I said we'd beat Brighton though, so you know we'll have to wait and see, but. Yeah, I'm confident. I am confident, Oscar. Please, as well, before I hand over back to Oscar, look at me now. I can't stop moving. I'm like, I love it. I love it. Yeah, I probably will do, mate. You're probably right. But please smash a like on the stream. Let's see if we can get a number of likes on this stream. Please get more people involved because that's what it's all about. We want to continue to build the community, and we do that by getting likes on the video, more people seeing our content. So if you love what we're doing, which I think you do, then please smash a like on the video and help the lads out. And it's class to see Big Lou again. He's getting part of the furniture now. He's getting part of the furniture now, isn't he?
Cheers, mate.
You certainly are.
Yep.
Comfy furniture if you're Joe.
But before we go into it, guys, I think we should just quickly pay tribute. Obviously, plenty coming in for the comments. Plenty of love for Sir Captain Tom Moore, absolute hero of the country. Devastating news this afternoon. But to get to 100 years old is an incredible age, and what an absolute hero, you know, in terms of what he's done for this country over the last year or so, and for his whole life, to be fair. So it only feels right to pay tribute to Sir Captain Tom Moore. So, guys, I mean, obviously going into this game, Evertonians, as we've already said, don't feel too positive. And one person who's getting a lot of criticism was Richarlison, who's actually only on 2 goals so far this season. Of course, that might be jinxing it a little bit, maybe even mentioning Richarlison. But, I mean, from that game we played at Goodison Park just over 2 months ago, Big Lou, I mean, what did you kind of take from that game? You know, in terms of we won the game 1-0, but I'll be honest, I thought we could have won by more goals on the night.
Yeah, definitely we could have done. But I think at that sort of moment in time, even the most optimistic of Leeds fans, myself included, wasn't expecting to win that game. But if we're honest about it, we defended really well in that game and we battered them. Calvin Phillips had an incredibly good game and we thoroughly deserved to win the game. It was expected at the sort of the point it was in the season. But I think that's sort of where we were at now, the similarity with the Leicester game, really. I wasn't expecting to win that game. And ultimately, what was most pleasing about the result is that Leicester didn't play that badly. Everton have come off the back of a bad result against Newcastle. They were awful, in fact. But I think it wasn't unsurprising in that Newcastle sort of started to turn their corner in the second half against us, didn't they? And they sort of brought it into the game against Everton. But Ancelotti may have cursed Richarlison. Your point about Richarlison not scoring a lot of goals. He said something about him being capable of winning the Ballon d'Or or something like that. He said some ludicrous statement. And he just isn't anywhere near those levels, is he?
I'll tell you one battle I'm really looking forward to tomorrow night, Joe, is Dominic Calvert-Lewin and Patrick Bamford, seeing who shines in that battle. Because for me, I think that England striker spot, I think there's one left. I think there's one spot left. I think obviously Kane, Rashford, probably Tammy Abraham's probably got those 3 top spaces because they all play for the top 6. It probably is that last spot is probably between, at the minute, Calvert-Lewin, possibly Danny Ings, and possibly Patrick Bamford. I think, for me, I look at this game, and I don't think Calvert-Lewin did a lot against us in the last one, but we did have Robin Koch on the pitch, who I thought did a superb job man marking him. I mean, that is going to be a really interesting to see who impresses, really, because Calvert-Lewin, a little bit off form, to be fair.
Yeah, it is quite interesting. And I think at the time as well, Dominic Calvert-Lewin was absolutely flying. Everything he touched turned to goal. And yeah, I think a lot of that, as the Everton fans told us yesterday, there's a lot of that bearing on Luca Digne and just how creative he is for Everton. It's funny, Lou, talking about Richarlison and that jinx. I think Bielsa's had a bit of effect on that with Click, although we've seen Click, have a decent performance, to be fair to him, last time out against Leicester. But yeah, I mean, I think still, though, even though he's not scoring a lot, which I am quite surprised he's only scored 2 goals, Richarlison, he's still very, very vital to that Everton side. I don't think they win games when he's not in the side. I think they've got a crazy record, I believe, because they were on such a great run. He got this red card against Liverpool, and then they lost like 3 on the bounce while he was out. I think there is some crazy stat where Richarlison doesn't play and Everton don't do well. But on the battle between Dominic Calvert-Lewin and Bamford, Bamford's going to be hot in form. We know that Bamford is a confidence player. We've said that many a time. I think, we're all guilty of saying, not guilty, rightly saying, that maybe Bamford was out of form. The last 4, he'd been on a bit of a barren run. Confidence, for me, he wasn't knitting play together. However, we've seen on the weekend just how good he can be when he's on his game. 1 goal and 2 assists, and the manner of the goal as well shows
better
that he's
better than Fabinho, as Alfie's saying here.
Yeah, man, you might as well. I don't know if he's quite that level, but you know what I mean. He's a great player. He's a great player. And for me, I've heard others say maybe I listened to a podcast and they were saying, we were talking about getting him substituted and he wasn't doing great. And I found that couldn't be further from the truth for me. I thought Bamford on the weekend, even prior to his assist and his goal, his also overall centre forward display for me was fantastic. Isn't it, Luke? It is. It's very.
It's very commanding.
I love it.
You seem that bit closer to the screen.
Yeah, well, I like that. That's what I mean, and it's much more comfy. I can move about. Wait till I get my desk, I'll be flying. But yeah, I think Bamford wins the battle. On the weekend, on Wednesday, tomorrow night for me. And you say we don't have Robin Koch. Yes, he will be a big miss, but we will have Virgil van Strijk. And we will have Liam Cooper. And for me, they were exceptional on the weekend. They were fantastic. They didn't put a foot wrong. Did not put a foot wrong. And I thought they were fantastic. So if we get anywhere close to that, the fact that Dominic Calvert-Lewin is in great form, I think Bamford wins the battle. And I think he'll again cause the centre-back partnership of Everton a torrid time, like he did against Leicester. Let's not forget, Brendan Rodgers changed it a number of times to try and cope with that threat. And even when they went to a back 3, Bamford still bossed it for me. So Bamford wins the battle. Fingers crossed. Yeah, I heard Oscar mention it yesterday as well, and I was like, fuck it, we're keeping it now. It's Virgil van Strijk. from this day
interestingly, mate. Interestingly, Roberto Martinez, Belgian manager, has been talking to Pascal Struijk. Apparently, I'm not sure if it's Twitter rumor or not. I'm not sure if Lou's heard anything about this, but he has actually got. He does qualify for Belgium as well. So, unbelievably, Leeds United have got a battle between Holland and Belgium for our centre back, which is quite interesting.
Wow.
I mean that is still. I mean, he is a brilliant player. He is sort of really sort of bursting onto the scene, if you like, at the moment. But that is still quite surprising. He's been amazing, and I think we're at that point now where we might need to stop. Not moaning, but talking about the fact that we're missing centre backs. It could have been one of these situations where we were in the bottom 4 or 5 and struggling without centre backs and conceding a lot of goals. So credit to Pascal and Ayling, even when he was playing at centre back, that these boys have come in and actually performed really well to the point where we are where we are.
Yeah. And can I just ask you a question? Who do you pick? For me, I'm going Holland and Virgil van Dijk and Virgil van Struijk all day. If I'm Struijk, I'm picking Holland personally. What about you guys?
Yeah, definitely.
I think with Belgium, I think their golden era is starting to kind of peter out a little bit. You're looking at people like Hazard, Company, probably only really De Bruyne, who's still kind of in his peak, and Lukaku, I guess. But you look at Holland and you think, chance to play along Van Dijk. The only slight problem he has got is Holland have a lot of top-class centre-backs, so it's a case of does he get in there? But if they're that keen to be talking about Struijk already, it definitely suggests that they've had a look at him. Look, he's come through the Ajax Academy. They've definitely heard of him before. I think he's played a couple of under-21s games as well. So I'm picking Holland for me. I'm picking the country of my birth. Not my birth, but Struijk. You know what I mean?
Yeah. We get what you're saying, mate. We get what you're saying.
I'm from Amsterdam. Would you agree, Lou?
Yeah, I mean, like you say, he's got a lot of competition in that role. But even if he's in the squad and in and around the squad and learning and playing international football, then international breaks are rubbish for Leeds fans as it is. It's just a nice little added bit of excitement for us to watch, and a game that we otherwise wouldn't normally watch, maybe, seeing him in there. But obviously we're going to have at least 3 Leeds players in the England squad soon, so we're going to be busy.
What's them 3, Lou? What's them 3?
Then? Bamford, Phillips, Ayling?
Well, I said to my mate, I was on All Leeds TV tonight, and he said, if you mention anything about Leeds players other than Phillips in the England squad, then I'm turning it off. So for me, I think Ayling, Bamford, and Phillips.
What about Stewie D? Leeds born,
yeah, from Cookbridge. Honestly, who's going to go for the hat trick of saying Leeds born Dallas this year? Is it going to be BT, Sky? I don't know.
It's getting mad now, though. At first it was funny, but now you're thinking, are you being serious? Are you being serious? Like it's being mocked for like ages. You're just not doing your research. You're actually still calling him homegrown Stuart Dallas.
Yeah,
crazy, isn't it? Crazy.
No, it's an interesting one, Luke Ayling. Obviously, the form he's in. I mean, he handled Harvey Barnes pretty well, I thought. Other than on the goal, I thought he did a cracking job on Harvey Barnes. But it's just that competition he's got, isn't it? It's got Trippier, Alexander-Arnold. But if you're going off just form this season, I genuinely think he's been the best English right-back, just purely based on club form. Would you go along with that, Joe?
I think he should get in there just for Megan Manny alone. To be fair. I love that interview that Ayling did where he said he turned and he looked at the bench and was like, did you see that? Did you see that? And I just love the honesty of them. I think, look, for me, Ayling won't get in there. Unfortunately, just because there's too many ahead of him. Do I think he should warrant a shot? Yeah. Because he's brilliant. Like you say, he's up there this season, you know. We know the stats don't lie that he is one of the best progressors of a ball in Europe. This is Luke Ayling we're talking about, you know, in Europe. So he should be in with the shout. don't think he will, though. I do think Bamford's got a realistic opportunity of getting into the games prior. Do I think he'll be on the plane? No. Well, Calvin might not even be on the plane, guys. You know,
you think?
Well, Declan Rice,
Rice, Henderson, but
who else? Like, I'm just trying to think of midfield options.
I mean, Harry Winks won't get ahead of him now. He's not playing enough for Tottenham, and he's awful anyway. But I can't see Calvin not being on that plane, to be honest. Now, especially the way he played last international as well. But whether he starts, if you're asking me right now, I still think Southgate prefers Rice. I don't. Yeah. I think you look at what Phillips is doing as a single pivot. Never mind. Rice is playing with two. Rice is playing alongside Zuchek. Much easier. Phillips is playing on his own in front of quite an attack-minded front five ahead of him, and he's doing a cracking job. I mean, do you still think Calvin's in that squad, Big Lou? Do you think maybe even starting 11 on that first game in the Euros?
Definitely, but I think obviously Phillips' role in this side and in this system is entirely different to what Southgate would expect of him. Like you said, his role in a Leeds side, he has an awful lot of work to get through. Whereas in an England side, he wouldn't have as much. Personally, I think Declan Rice is probably still ahead of him. I think I'm one of those fans that refuses to rate someone until I see them play against Leeds, and that's when you can really see how good they are. Really, like I mean, Scott McTominay, for instance, for Scum. Have you ever seen him play a game like that against Leeds? Never someone I've ever rated. But then you think, wow, he's just playing absolute blinder there. He's probably not a bad player. I actually thought the same with Declan Rice when he played against us. He is clearly a quality defensive midfield player.
He won that battle for me as well, Lou. He won that battle. We were talking with Corey, and I'm like you, Lou. I'm exactly the same as you. I don't really take notice. I know Oscar touched on it yesterday. If Leeds are in that division, I ain't watching it. It is what it is, I watch some of the big games, but I come up to the Premier League and there's quite a few that I watch more Championship stuff. It is what it is. And like you with the Rice conversation, I don't watch him, but then when we played them, he won that battle and he was very, very good, Declan Rice, for me. And I was like, all right, okay, I see it now. And I agree as well with the McTominay stuff. I think you bang on there, Lou. I agree completely.
Yeah. This is from my old man, by the looks of it. I bought him a shirt this week.
Nice. What did you get?
Top stuff. Big thanks to Big Mark. Then can we call him Big Mark?
Yeah. Big Mark, yeah. Why not?
Big Mark, then.
Well, this is sort of the first. I got him this shirt particularly because it was the first shirt I remember my dad wearing.
Nice.
And annoyingly, it's obviously not got Thistle Hotels across the middle of it, but it's the next best thing, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a beauty. It's a beauty shirt, to be fair.
Yeah, I love it.
Shout out Mark as well. Thank you very much for doing that, Mark. We love your son over on All Leeds TV. I don't know why. Just telling you that. Yeah, nice one.
I was thinking, are we going to have a beard war here? I mean, I've got to say, Lou's beard game is looking strong here, mate. I'm not gonna lie. It's just got that little bit more. A little bit more thickness, a little bit more depth.
Volume. I'll have to ask him what kind of shampoo he's using.
It's the volume, isn't it? Definitely the volume. But I can't talk. I can't even grow it slightly. So, I mean, look, Everton, the two opposition fans yesterday, they highlighted the fullbacks as being defensively weak. And that is just music to our ears, isn't it? It's music to our ears with the form Harrison and Rafinha are in. Bamford as well, getting on the end of crosses. I mean, I genuinely think now that front three, Rafinha, Bamford, Harrison, is the best front three in terms of combined, in terms of getting goals together, linking up play together outside the top seven. Name me a better one.
I thought you were going to say in the league. I was going to go Oscar Dog.
No, not in the league. Not in the league. It's better than Mane, Firmino, Salah. Miles better, mate. But look, outside the top seven, I genuinely would struggle to name you a better one, to be honest, in terms of getting goals, creating chances and linking up play. I'm not sure. Let us know in the comments. But Lou, I mean, how highly do you rate that three at the minute in terms of how it's combining?
Well, they're becoming like Phillips, really, like indispensable. We need them in the team every week, and everybody raves about Rafinha, but I think Harrison and Bamford are just as important. I think with Bamford, he's one of these players when he's not having a good game because of his game and the way he plays, his deft touches, and the way he links up. He doesn't like really put his foot through the ball when he passes. He's very delicate and measured with the way he passes, much like his assist for Dallas's goal yesterday, if you know what I mean. When he's playing well, they're the sorts of balls that he's playing. So he can be frustrating to watch when he's off form because those passes don't go to feet. But when obviously he's scoring goals and assisting like he was the other day, he's such a good player to watch. And Rafinha the same. I mean, that goal, Strout marching out past the halfway line, passing the ball into Rafinha. I mean, those incredible passes, really. Oscar, you still there, mate?
I'm still here.
Yeah, I mean, the passing for that Bamford goal was just insane. I mean, that Rafinha pass above all was just different level.
100%. I mean, Rafinha, I think Wayman's frozen there. He'll be back. Like the Terminator, he will be back. Rafinha, I mean, that pass from Rafinha, I actually thought on the ball, to be honest, Lou, it's probably one of Rafinha's quieter games, but he just come alive at that moment. He needs to come alive. 20 minutes to go. We're under the cosh, and he just finds that pass into Bamford. And I just love players like that. I know his work rate as well for me, so much improved in terms of, I'm not saying he was lazy when he first came to Leeds, but it did look like that side of his game in terms of his fullback sort of ran past him a bit too easily for my liking. I remember one game against Arsenal. I think Tierney was playing left back, and Tierney was just having a bit too much joy for me on this side of the pitch in terms of just drifting past him and, you know, overlapping his fellow winger. But I just think he's massively improved that side of his game, to be honest, mate. I'd be interested to see what your thoughts are on that. I mean, he seems to really do a shift
much like
on Sunday.
Yeah. I just think the recruitment's always spot on. I think it's always more beyond the football ability. I think a lot of what Bielsa likes is a good mental attitude and just the hunger. I think Rafinha's just got the right sort of attitude into this side. He wants to win and he runs all day. They're the first two important attributes that Bielsa would want in a player. He's bargain of the window, really, isn't he? And I must admit, I'm surprised not to see him in a few more fantasy football sides, to be honest. I've not seen him in. I mean, he's in mine, obviously, but I'm not moving him out anytime soon.
I tell you, another team he's pushing for. He's pushing for that Brazil team. I'm telling you now, he will really be catching the eye. You look at his competition. I think I've already said Willian, Lucas Moura, etc. He's playing loads better than both, isn't he, at the minute? I mean, do you rate him that highly, Joe, in terms of he could even be a Brazilian international whilst he's at Leeds?
Yeah. I mean, it'd be great if that was to become the case, wasn't it, guys? We've got 199 people watching as well, so smash a like on the video. Let's get over 200. But yeah, it would be great, wouldn't it, to have a Brazilian international? At Leeds United, a current Brazilian international. I do think he's that good. Just on that front three in general, was it right? And someone said 35 goals.
I've just had a look at that, actually. I think they're on course for 35 goals. Right, they're on 20 already. And to be fair, you have to consider Rafinha didn't actually start his first game until Arsenal, which was 10 games in. Yeah. So they're already on 20 goals as a free, almost. And Jack Harrison's, I think he missed a couple of games, didn't he, around that Man City game. So, yeah, I mean, I
think with Jack Harrison as well, I think what's quite telling, because we as mere mortals, and people that might not see the game as in depth as what some of the guys that do analysis and that have played the game at the top level, the likes of Jamie Carragher, Rio, I know you won't like me mentioning, but a lot of these players all throw praise at Jack Harrison. And there's a reason for that as well. I think sometimes, I don't know if we all rate him, of course we do, but I think maybe we take him for granted a little bit. I don't think he gets the praise as much as he should, if I'm honest. And I'm guilty of that as well. And maybe it's just because he had a bit of a stop-start with us. I don't know. But it is interesting to hear just how much the pundits that have played at the top of the game, really, really rate Jack. And I mean, Rafinha is absolutely exceptional.
To be fair, though, you know what? I've just in terms of goal. I mean, Max has just putting out there. Rafinha's pretty much getting a goal or assist every other game. So is Jack Harrison. You know, Jack Harrison's on 5 goals, 4 assists. You know, it's not bad at all. I mean, you're getting output from both sides of the pitch, really. And obviously, Rafinha, the way he does it is a lot sexier, I guess, in terms of he's a much better player to watch in that sense. But Harrison, for me, he probably offers just as much in terms of defensive work rate, that first touch, getting us up the pitch when we're under a bit of trouble. Because I think against Leicester, I honestly only saw it going one way in terms of that first 20 minutes of that second half. I thought, we're in a bit of bother here. We're seriously under the cosh. And then Harrison and Rafinha just get us up that pitch to carry the ball. They make a couple of runs in behind. Rafinha makes a big part in that second goal. Harrison gets himself the third. I mean, I just think it's fantastic. I just think we've got that extra little 10% now as a team, to be fair. But we have got an extra 25% now to the free. I don't know where I'm going with this. Anyway, Lewis is doing this now. It sounded dead clever that in my head, but it really wasn't, to be fair. And Lewis is shaking his head already, to be fair. How are you, mate? Mid-swig.
Great math, that. How you doing?
How are we, mate? See, you got the Hearts home shirt on there.
Yeah, so I need to explain myself. So anyone in chat who plays pro clubs basically knows how big of a thing it is to win Div 1 with the boys. And, you know, our playing pro clubs and we just won Div 1, so
you're not late because you got the time wrong. You lied to us. You're actually
late. I did actually think you were at 7 that I was playing clubs, and then I realised you were at 6.
But still prioritised over.
He's lying basically.
Prioritising that over us. Come on.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Club come first with the boys. But I'm here now. I'm sorry I'm late, boys.
No Ellen Road. How disgraceful is that, by the way? No Ellen Road.
I thought he said 7 yesterday. I checked the message. He said 6 to 7. I'm like, oh, shit. So I have to message Joe. But I'm here now. How are you doing? What have you been talking about? Everton preview.
I've been talking about you because you've not been
here. Talking about you, mate.
Right, okay.
But yeah, obviously looking at Everton now, we've mentioned Rafinha. Rafinha was a little doubt, isn't he, on whether he's going to play tomorrow night? But looks like he'll be okay. Hopefully Patrick Bamford will also be okay. But Rodrigo is not okay. So it looks like Mateus Klick, we think, will just keep his place in the team after coming on after 20 minutes. I mean, do you think that, Lewis?
I think he'll look good, so I won't have a problem with that when he come on the other day. Obviously, it's a big loss to lose Rodrigo. I think he's actually been in good form recently, but you know we're going to pick up injuries along the way, and it's just a fact at season. So, but I think Klitsch will do fine. So
yeah.
I've got to agree with what Joe was saying before. I think Klick's best game in probably 2 or 3 months was on Sunday. I honestly do think he did play really well. Obviously, big part in the second goal. I mean, obviously, I think the thing is as well, Everton, they're not traditionally top 6, but they are, for me, one of the tougher teams to play this season. Do you like the idea, Lou, of having that little bit more physicality in midfield, that little bit more work rate? You know, I'm not saying Rodrigo's lazy, but Dallas and Klick, it just gives you that bit more work rate in front of Phillips and makes us a bit more compact and solid in front of the back four in effect.
Yeah, and I think they're bringing that from the Championship as well, where some games are a lot more physical, whereas obviously Rodrigo and experience that are, you know, obviously not clued up on sides he played, you know, previous clubs. But I think, yeah, Klitsch can bring that and know how to win games dirty if needs be as well. So, yeah, as I say, I think, you know, he'll do absolutely fine there if he plays.
I think it's quite telling that the 2 times he's been benched, he's come on virtually straight away in the first half of the game to replace someone, and we've looked like a better side. He's just part of the balance. And yeah, he definitely has to start Klick.
I just to jump in, I was listening to All Stats at We early, good friends of ours, and some great analysis. And one of them made the point, I forget who it was now, my apologies, but one of them made the point that maybe Klick looked better with Dallas in the side because he knew he could press certain areas and not have to worry so much as he maybe does with Rodrigo in the side, because Rodrigo's not as
He still thinks like a centre forward for me, Rodrigo.
Yeah, and he's still learning the system. Whereas if you think about
between them,
there's that synergy with that championship squad, they know where everyone's going to be. They're not worried about this person there, that person there. You know, it's very much I go and they will follow kind of vibe. So I think. Listen, I'm more than happy with Click being there, and I think he'll have a good performance against this Everton side. Maybe I'm being naive, but genuinely not worried. Maybe that's the wrong attitude to have. I was like that for Brighton, but can only tell you how I'm feeling. And I said even before the Leicester game, get beat at Leicester, but I was confident that we can beat Everton. And I even think with Rodrigo not in the side and clicking there will be fine. I mean, Dallas, let's talk about Dallas. I mean, Dallas being, I was going to swear then, but he's been brilliant in midfield. Absolutely brilliant, man, for me.
Rolls Royce.
Hey?
Rolls Royce.
Yeah, man. Yeah, he's our Jimmy Milner. That's how I call him. He's Jimmy Milner. Jimmy Milner Mark II.
Better than Jimmy Milner.
Digging out that ball in a pretty tough situation for the third goal. I think Strauch headed the ball out. Dallas looked in a bit of bother. He's managed to turn and get the ball to Click. I mean, incredible.
He did incredibly well. But
if you didn't know about how or where he was playing, the bloke was all over the pitch. Let's be honest.
He always is. He's just got that in him, man. It's why Bielsa loves him. He loves any player who can.
Of all the players, I mean, you wouldn't criticise anyone, but Alioski was fairly quiet in the game. But Dallas could have quite feasibly been left back and centre mid in that game for all anyone knew. He was just insane.
There's news as well. I mean, Phil Hayes actually confirmed it, hasn't he? Someone mentioned it in the comments, so I just had a little look on Twitter. We're actually interested in signing the left back Roman Parade from, I don't know if that's how you pronounce it, from the French league. He's actually done a piece on him in the Athletic, so the fact that he's doing that, it looks like that might be one we're going on. So, I think we're all aware as well, really, the left back is an area that we need to improve upon. The fact that they've earmarked someone for the summer, and I like that. The fact that they're doing the business sort of like now. It's like the Rodrigo de Paul one. They're basically saying the guy who was on TalkSport that he's going to Leeds. Like, apparently I don't know.
It's basically they've got their hearts set on it, but obviously it's never going to happen this window. So you're probably looking at summer. But I think he's got his heart set on coming here, but it's just a price thing, isn't it?
I think in the summer, man, we'll be able to do that for me. Get a left back.
That and more with the season we're having. If we keep this up and have a solid finish, it's even more attractive for players to come here. The players we brought in just coming up from Championship were incredible, and Victor Orta's recruitment's unbelievable for a club who's just come up. So when we've got that finish in Premier League and we're even more attractive and proven, then who knows who we can bring in? But
it's interesting where that leaves players like Dallas and Alioski. I mean, if they give Alioski a contract, players that have been playing that position, Dallas is, like I say, indispensable in the team. Really, where does that leave him and Alioski if we bring in an out-and-out left back?
I think for me, Dallas will be utility, and as will Alioski in a sense down that left-hand side. We've seen it against Fulham when he weren't getting game time. When they weren't starting games, he was just brought on towards the end of games to just fucking run about, And
that's if Gianni's still here, because his agent's been making a lot of noise, hasn't he? So it's kind of seemed to me like either his agent wants him out or he wants out. So whether it's because he wants to progress and wants to be, starting every game, or he thinks he's only got so much left for his career that he's not going to be having much time here now. I don't know, but. Anywhere but Galatasaray is what I said on Twitter. Anywhere but there, mate.
100%.
The fans will turn on you no matter how much you've done for us, no matter how mad you are, all these Johnny Camps, how funny you are. You go there and that's it, you're done. So it's just be a stupid decision on his part, but that's it. So
I think of the players that to lose, I don't think it would be surprising, and we'd live if Alioski did go. I mean, sentiment is a great thing with everything we've been through in the last few seasons, but there is going to be a time to move on, and there's players that do need to be part of us going forward. Liam Cooper's one of them, I think, but Alioski is potentially someone you could lose and still live.
Yeah.
Fair enough, guys. I mean, look, Alioski for me, I'm not really bothered, to be honest. I'm not really that bothered if Alios doesn't stay. I think you look at it long term. I just think great utility player, but I'm thinking Dallas is just a superior one for me in terms of probably in pretty much every position. But look, I think obviously you look at that back four. It's slow. There is slowly a back four there really developing. Ayling, Koch, Struick, and a new left back. It sounds good to me. Meslier in goal, Phillips. You really see a team building all of a sudden. In terms of what Orsa's trying to build really. But for me, I look at this game and I just look at our defensive record. Last 6 games, 6 goals conceded. We played Tottenham, Leicester, some really decent teams in that time. I honestly think defensively we're just so much more compact. We concede so much fewer chances. Meslier has to make a lot less saves. I mean, before at the start of the season, I'm not saying we were lucky to win games, but we only seemed to win games when Meslier made a world-class save. Say Sheffield United, Everton, last Everton game off Doucouré. It must be so pleasing, Lou, that we just look so much more solid as a team.
Yeah, and the good part about that is we're looking solid now, or past couple of games. When we get the full defense back, which if that's ever a thing that happens, who knows? But we'll see.
Sorry, I'm laughing, right? Because what's happening is Oscar's saying Lou.
Yeah,
he means Big Lou. Not Louis.
Yeah. I know it's Lou on screen, but
Louis.
Well, it's all right. It's all right because obviously my name is the same spelling as yours, Lewis. But it was supposed to be more handy that I was on here as Big Lou, but it's turned out. But I knew you were going to answer to Lou, so it's all right. You crack on, mate.
Yeah, I could see Oscar every time Louis started talking.
Just diving in.
He's done it again.
Lewis, we'll call it.
Lewis and Lou. There we go. Right, that's established now.
Nice to see Rose on the channel as well. Great. Make sure you check out Now This Is Everton.
Yeah, check out Now This Is Everton. Absolutely fantastic guest yesterday. But I'll be honest, I'm like Joey. I'm confident going into this. I really do feel a lot more confident than I was last time we played Everton. A lot more confident. I just look at Everton at the minute. I don't think they've got any kind of structure. Alan's out. Alan was superb last time. He was superb in that game at Goodison Park. I mean, do you feel...
For me, Oscar, yeah, I agree with you. He was superb. When I watched the opposition preview today and heard that it was out, because I didn't know, because I've been so busy, I've not had time, and because of quick turnaround, not really had time to do any homework. But yeah, he's a massive loss. And for me, I really thought Doucouré was pants against us. I genuinely did. I thought he was pretty pony, if I'm being totally honest. And like you say, Alan was the main threat. So the fact that he's in there, and I think I heard you were saying that they lined up with Sigurdsson and Doucouré in
front of the back four. Not great, is it?
Do that against Leeds, and we'll gobble you up. Genuinely, I think.
Well, I'm not sure they do the same again, though. I think I would have thought Ancelotti will probably go a bit more pragmatic and say Davis, or not that I'm saying Davis is a good player, but they might go a little bit more after they got beat. I can see them changing a bit, to be fair.
Did James Rodriguez play against us at Goodison?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, well,
cracking job on him.
It scored 2 disallowed goals, didn't it, for VAR? Or it won? I know he scored one of them, at least.
Yeah.
They had 2 goals disallowed for VAR.
Yeah, he did, actually, yeah.
He's the thing is, Everton have such capable players in their side, but they haven't seemed to sort of click regularly, have they? But I think the danger is obviously going into a game like this for us is that they could feasibly quite do it on that day and beat us 2 or 3-0, and it wouldn't be that surprising. I don't think that will happen, to be honest, but it's possible. Who can? Richarlison's due a good game. Rodriguez is due a goal. There's all these sorts of scenarios where you think it's a possibility, but so many times Everton are disappointed. And we turn up for these games. And interestingly, I found is how much space Phillips had when we played them the first time. And so many managers, managers have got their head screwed on when they get players to pick up Phillips. And you can see in the first 10 minutes of games how how crowded Phillips is. Phillips was not crowded in that game, and they clearly didn't see him as someone who could pull the strings, and he basically did.
But that's something they'll look to rectify this time.
Yeah.
Now.
So do you think they will? Do you think they'll put someone on him? Maybe, I don't know.
They have to. If they want to learn from last time, you'd think he wouldn't have as much freedom.
Yeah, I don't agree with this.
I don't either, to be fair.
I don't agree with this. For me now, Joseph, and again, everyone's entitled to their opinion, and everyone, football's a game full of opinions. But that's the old Leeds United. I don't have that in me anymore.
No, that's 2013-14 Leeds United. Is that? Oh, if we win, it's a nice
we can go into any game to get a result these days. Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to go in with the mindset, but then again, that's when you get people like, "So you don't know? No, I told you we'd get beat," and that's never good when it comes off your own fans either. Sorry, but yeah, listen, that's a different. We're a different side now, and listen, I'm always positive anyway. Maybe a bit too over positive, but
there's also the side
of be confident.
There's also the side of we're content creators. At the end of the day, we come on. What do you want us to do? Sit in front of the camera every week and go, "Well, if we win, it'd be nice." But people don't want to hear that, and we're not just being positive for the sake of entertaining people. We're just genuinely positive. Like it's just. But even if you were just a negative person or pessimistic and you come on every week, it won't go down well. So it don't work.
Well, Lewis, considering the people you watch your games with on your fan reactions, you've got the patience of a saint, my friend. So I watch the games on my own because I'm terrible to watch football with because I'm an angry man. But
people have said that to me before in terms of like, oh, why do you watch games with your Huddersfield mate or your Villa mate or your Watford mate? And I'm like, because it adds a bit of it's entertaining for neutrals who watch because it's just for video wise and for just in terms of being there.
Are you sitting there getting wound up though?
Yeah, or the Man United one, mate, or scum one, what you want to call them. I was absolutely fuming. I had to keep my cool. Like I want exactly Jack, but I were absolutely livid. You could see me sat there a few times. Like,
well, when I saw you were on, I did want to ask you these questions. Who do you find? Who do you find the biggest wind up out of them? As in, who would you most love to rub it in when we win? If they've been winding you up all game, Bradford, mate.
Ed and the Bradford mate, yeah. Because I mean, he's not been for a while because with the whole obviously lockdown and stuff, we all try and get tests and take us on precautions, and people who we live with have tests due to work and blah blah blah. So sometimes it could be 3 of us, 4 of us, just in terms of who we think's safe enough, blah blah blah. So we're trying to take enough precautions, but he's not been for a while just because of. He can't get regular COVID testing and stuff because of work. He don't work and blah blah blah.
Well, he's not.
It's still messages and rings and stuff. But yeah, he hasn't been able to do that much recently. So, but he's the biggest wind-up merchant. Dino's the Watford fans kind of become more neutral as the season's gone on. George, the Huddersfield fan, is just deluded and pisses me off. But it's all good fun, man. Because it just makes it interesting having neutral fans there. Because if you win, you've got someone there to rub it into, even because they just want you to fail. So
and just the last thing about it, none of them have a soft spot for Leeds today, really, at all.
I'd say Dino's got the most of a soft spot. He's become he's a fan of how we play and stuff now, and he'll actually enjoy watching us. He's quite neutral, but George hates us. He's just bitter Huddersfield fan, and Aidan hates us, just bitter Bradford fan. But yeah, none of them are. No, they're all there to basically wind me up and up we fail. So, yeah, it just makes it interesting.
They all support shit football teams. Is what it is.
Apart from Villa, I'll give
their shit as well. What's all this? I keep seeing Dean Smith being fucking likened to be. It's doing.
Do you know what, Joe? You've got to give credit to Dean Smith where it's due. I know, mate. Honestly, you have to. And I know
he's got VAR well wired up. I'll give him that credit.
I don't.
You've got to be, mate, from where they were. I know they spent a lot, but he's taken them from bottom 3 last season nearly, where they should have been down, but you can argue that. Blah blah blah.
Let's talk about that. They shouldn't be in this division.
No, they shouldn't be. But we're 2 games in hand now, a top 4. So you've got to give him credit. But what I'm saying is, Villa fans won't give Bielsa credit. This is where you've got to be the bigger person here. They're so bitter, whereas I can actually say Dean Smith he's done a good job. But the whole Dean Smith Bielsa debate is just stupid.
They shouldn't be spoken about in the same breath.
He's not even in the same breath. You've got to give him credit for what he's done. Fair enough, because he has done a good job this season. But that argument's so stupid, and that's what they're so obsessed with. Every time Bielsa loses, Dean Smith this, Dean Smith that. They're so obsessed on Twitter. They're trying to cause this little Twitter beef. Just piss off. Like, there's no rivalry.
Right. You basically just said you're a Villa fan, Lewis. So I can't.
No, I'm not. I give managers and players credit where it's due. I'm not deluded. But Villa
what I'd say is, right,
Villa fans won't give Bielsa anything, mate. They won't give Bielsa anything.
But if Dean Smith's that good, as is Jack Grealish, Jack Grealish, who's better than Neymar, by the way, according to our second city cousins, apparently he's better than Neymar, he's better than Messi. If Jack Grealish is that good, explain to me why Aston Villa currently find themselves outside the top 6 in the Premier League. And Dean Smith's also that good. Explain it. It doesn't kind of all add up. You either have it one way or you have it the other. I mean,
I'm going to get shit for saying this. I'm going to get shit for saying this. No, I'm right. Dean Smith shouldn't be where he is with that team.
We're going to remove him.
AVFC, Lewis.
I've had to get rid of him.
AVFC, Lewis.
All right. I'm just trying to be unbiased. I'm not trying to be a prick. Like, he shouldn't be where he is with that team. That's all I'm going to say. But they won't give Bielsa anything. Like, I can quite happily say, Dean Smith, he's done all right with them, but they won't give us anything. They just find any reason to criticise Bielsa or just pisses me off. Like, they're trying to cause this. Just appreciate they've both done good jobs, but they shouldn't be mentioned in the same breath at all.
No, they shouldn't.
Should not be mentioned in the same breath. It's a stupid argument. End of. AVFC Lewis is gone now. LUFC Lewis is back. Villa are shit anyway. Fuck Dean.
Lewis Agbonlahor.
Let's not go that far. Bloody hell. That's a whole different topic.
How on earth have we got onto Aston Villa in an Everton preview?
Because we just chat.
He's even got his claret. Top.
I know.
Because we were talking about Griff, weren't we, in Villa? But just the Twitter thing just annoys me, and it's not going to stop because they're just obsessed.
No, no, a horrendous platform, really, isn't it? But I can't leave it alone.
Yeah. Let's move it on, Oscar. Let's move it on.
Yeah, let's move it on. Quickly move it on from those that I can't even go on to it.
Somebody said, Lewis, it's all Leeds TV, not a bit of Leeds TV. All right, I'm sorry, okay? I take it back. I apologise. Let's move on. Jesus. Try and be unbiased.
Let's move on quickly. Anyway, so look, I'm looking at this game, and maybe I'm being a bit too positive. Maybe I'm being a bit over the top, but I genuinely look at that Everton team, and other than that front three, and don't get me wrong, that is a really good front three. James Rodriguez, I mean, look at the goal he scored against Leicester. Calvert-Lewin, the odds are he will start scoring again. Let's just hope it doesn't start against us. Richarlison, again, odds are he'll start scoring again. Let's just hope it's not against us. But I genuinely look at that Everton team and think, if they do go with Sigurdsson, Decore in the middle of the park, kind of luxury kind of players for me, I honestly think we could overrun them quite a bit in midfield. I honestly do. With the new pitch as well, our January signing does make its debut tomorrow. Best January signing pretty much ever from Leeds United, to be fair. We have a great record in that market. But, I mean, how do you see it going, Lou? Not just necessarily in terms of prediction, but the game itself. Do you see, and Big Lou this, by the way, Lewis, Lewis, just to clarify.
I've got it now.
Before you do, because you'll just bring it onto Aston Villa. Big Lou, how do you see the game generally going, flowing?
Well, I'm with Joe on this one, to be fair. I think Decore was pretty guff against us, to be honest. Alan was pretty threatening, but like I say, they've got quality players. They're capable of of upsetting us. But let's see, mate. Maybe I'm confident, and I think we have every right to be confident. But it's one of these things, isn't it, where the Premier League is so competitive. Any result could happen. Getting a run of games in the Premier League is probably the next thing to do. But beating 2 sort of top half teams in a row is what we need to look to do to sort of progress, really, to start being taken seriously as a side that aren't just a promoted side.
I can't question for Lewis, James Rodriguez or Jack Grealish? Take the floor, my friend.
I'm a Rodriguez all day long.
You don't believe that? He's just had to say it.
No, Rodriguez it can be world class at times, like 100%. So, and Grealish, he goes missing in 70th minute, 65th minute. It'd be great if he didn't, but
if they're not winning, he does. I agree.
He's overrated.
On what Lou said, and like what to pick up what you said, Oscar, just to keep it on Everton. The midfield. It's quite interesting, isn't it? Because against Leicester, we're talking about that was my main worry against Leicester was the midfield. Tielemans, Mendy, Maddison. To be fair, we did all right, and I think we'll have even more control against Everton because we'll have Click and Dallas in there. Obviously, I prefer to have Rodrigo. It's that luxury player, isn't it? He can do something at the drop of a hat. But I do think we will have a little more control in there. And like you said, their midfield is nowhere near what Leicester's is for me. And there you go, Tom. They look shaky in the middle of the park. Harrison will have a field day if Coleman starts. I don't know. I'm just really confident. I can't see past the Leeds United win. Call me naive, say I'm too positive. It is what it is. And if we lose, no doubt some of you will. But ultimately, I look at this game and I look at the last, like you said earlier, Oscar, we could have scored a few more. We weren't, we didn't have that clinicality that I like to talk about. However, Bamford's in scintillating form. I think we'll have too much for Everton tomorrow night. I do. On the new pitch.
Joe, do you believe that same? Do you have that same opinion if Raf doesn't start as well?
Well, if Costa's replacing him, then
we lose.
Yeah, I mean, all me and Oscar will do on tomorrow's stream will just be shouting at him because that's all we tend to do. And you even hear Oscar's dad chipping in as well. Costa's, I'm getting rid of him in summer if I'm at the club. I don't think it's quite interesting to see that Wolves are smart, man. Wolves are smart. They knew they weren't Premiership ready. I think we were all shocked by the Douglas one. He's playing at Blackburn. Costa, again, okay, get him another bash under Bielsa. Maybe he is ready. Nah. And I think Wolves have done really well and done some good business out of us there, if I'm being totally honest. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, if Raf doesn't start, I mean, Paveda's out as well, isn't he? Paveda's in a cast. So I mean, for me personally, if Paveda's out, I'm starting Hernandez.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking.
No, I think if we're in our heart of hearts, I mean, I think pretty much the whole fan base would say that at the minute. I think Helder Costa himself would say start Hernandez there, but it's not going to happen. Bielsa's surely going to put Costa there if Rafinha's not fit. Wouldn't you have thought?
Yeah,
Costa
not that I agree. I totally agree with you guys.
Costa didn't even look good for the under-23s yesterday, mate. He's struggling at the minute. He's just.
Thing is, he had a blinding start, or you would have thought he had, but it's just...
Well, this is what I mean. Everybody was saying at the start, Costa. The reason he's doing so well in the Premier League is because he's got so much more space, and that's why he can be more direct and beat players. And he scored a couple of goals early on, didn't he, in the season? Yeah. And then I don't know what happened. Do you think he crumbled when they signed Raf? Maybe.
Yeah. He ain't got the mentality for it, bro. He ain't got. Yeah. He obviously doesn't have the mentality for it. He didn't at Wolves. I don't know what happened there, but they brought in some key players, right?
Brought in Jota, and Costa was the star man. I remember. I think it was Dave from Talking Wolves when we did the Wolves previews.
Oh,
said, I think it was off them. Costa was the star man of Wolves. There's by far the big prized asset. Then Fosun take over. Nuno arrives. Jota arrives. Neves arrives, and he crumbled. He crumbled under it. I think, to be fair, he did say with the signings we made, it could happen again to him. And I was, at the time, we were all loving Costa, and I was like, nah, no chance.
Yeah.
And you know what? He was 100% correct in what he said there, Dave, to be fair.
Yeah.
But, I mean, look, guys, we're approaching the hour. Let's push you guys for predictions. I'm going to start with Lewis on this one. We're going to start with LUFC Lewis. What are you going for, mate?
That is LUFC Lewis, by the way. Just so
I said LUFC Lewis.
Yeah, I know. I'm just making sure everyone knows it's LUFC Lewis. Just so
You've got West Ham tomorrow, mate. Okay.
Right, 2-1 Leeds. I'm just going to go 2-1 Leeds straight up.
2-1 Leeds. 2-1 Leeds. Big Lou.
I'm going 2-0. 2-0 Leeds tomorrow.
Love the clean sheet. Another clean sheet would be just glorious.
Messi had quiet all game as well. No, not even many saves to make. Just your standard takes from corners, maybe. That's it.
I think Melier has had a lot less to do, though, genuinely, last couple of games. Honestly, against Brighton, I know we got beat by Brighton, but after we conceded, absolutely nothing to do, did he? You know, Leicester made that save early on, but I just love seeing Melier having a lot less to do. I mean, Wayman, what are you going for?
2-0. 2-0 comfortable win for me. I think and just on corners, we've started looking dangerous from set pieces, you know, which is really, really surprising because I never give us a hope, but we've actually started to look dangerous.
Is Johnny Vio back behind the scenes or something?
Probably, mate. Probably. There's definitely been some work on them big time because we conceded from them. We're now not doing it and look a little bit more assured. I mean, look at the Maddison one. I know it's a poor delivery, but we dealt with it. Whereas previously, that probably goes in, probably crumbling they are, worrying about this set piece coming in the box so late in the game. And we've looked dangerous from them the other way, which I'm really happy with as well. But yeah, for me, 2-0 comfortable win. I know a lot of people might disagree, but I think it's going to be comfortable. Maybe I'm wrong. But listen, even if I am wrong, and we do get beat, would I have taken 3 points out of Leicester away and Everton at home? Yes. Yeah, so I'm not going to be that worried about it, But I do think we'll win. And then if we do win, we're looking at Palace and I'm going, Europe, baby. I can hear.
Europe. That's the first thing I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
Europe.
I can hear in the background, the champions.
Why not, mate?
Let's just get past Everton first. but 3 wins in a row it'd be some statement after the whole, the wheels coming off for Leeds after losing to Spurs.
Tweeting, by the way, Lewis, the cars thing. Loved it.
I thought I'd get that little edit in there. Yeah, reassured him for the second time.
I bet you couldn't wait.
I
bet you couldn't wait.
Not like Lewis to plug his own stuff, is it?
No, I'd never do such a thing.
I'm going to say 2-1. I think, look, Everton have got the better quality. I'm not going to lie. In a lot of positions, Everton do have the better quality. I think, obviously, look at Luka Dean versus Alioski. Yeah, there's a bit of a difference there. But I just think we're better drilled at the minute. I think we've got a bit more organisation to us. I think Everton, bit hit and miss. If Everton turn up, there's not a lot we can do, but I just have that feeling that our press is going to be a little bit too much for those Everton midfield. When Alan, really good on the ball, I don't see the same kind of things from the other Everton midfielders. Even if Gomez or Davis come in, I don't see them being able to cope with Dallas, Click harrying them, Phillips just behind harrying. I don't think they'll be able to cope with that for me. I think it will be a bit closer than maybe what Mr. Wayman's giving it credit for, because I do think Everton have got goals in them. But at the same time, I think we look better in pretty much every area at the minute. So I'm going to say 2-1. And to be fair, it's probably the only time this season so far in terms of playing on the top 6 or top 7 where I think I've actually felt like we're going to win. And that just feels amazing. And even if we don't, as Joe said, 3 points from this last 2, fantastic. And 6 points from the next 3, to be fair. If we beat Palace, if we lose this one, beat Palace, that's still been a cracking week for us, and that still puts us on course for the old the Europa League. To be fair, so I'll take that all day long.
Yeah, man, take that all day, and. Remember, I think we'll be all right. I think we're gonna be all right. I mean, people say, don't say Europe, etc. And I get it, right? It is what it is. But why not dare to dream? Me and Oscar were talking about it on player ratings. This time last season, Sheffield United had how many points, Oscar?
Same as us, same amount as us.
29. You were supposed to say the number, but we'll pretend
29. All right, 29.
29. How many points have we got, Oscar?
29. But what I will say is, though, mate, Sheffield United didn't get into Europe.
They just missed out.
Yeah, they didn't get into it, though.
Lads, if we are going to do it, we need to have a pretty good April. Do you not think?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, right, 8th place last season had 51 points. We took 26 from our first 19 this season. Double that, and I'm not for a minute saying we're going to just get the same points and have the same form. The next 19 games, also we've got 18 left now. That's 52 points. So for the people who are going, it's ridiculous to even bring it into discussion, it's not, because we've taken that many points from 19 games. We've proven we can do it. We can do it again. Not saying we will, but yeah.
So yeah, I agree. So slow, steady Steve said, where is Sheffield now? So by that comment, you believe that we're going to get relegated next season?
I believe they're losing, aren't they?
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, it's West Brom, yeah.
Not that they weren't already down before. Well,
yeah, but Sheffield United are where they are due to poor recruitment.
Yep.
That's not happening at Leeds United. That's not happening. Poor recruitment and key injuries. That's what's happening.
I thought that about West Brom. Why did West Brom think their championship side was good enough to compete, and now they've waited till January to bring in these loan signings where it might be too late?
Do you know, just on that, Oscar, does Josh King play tomorrow?
I was asking this, to be fair, yesterday on he has signed, hasn't he? But Paul reckons he won't because of COVID. They'll need to do all testing and all that lot. They'll probably wait till the weekend, but he won't start, but he might come off the bench maybe at best, I'd imagine. It'd be interesting, really, to see that. But I think, obviously, they've already enforced one change, bringing in Robin Olsen for Pickford in goal. And they'll probably make a change in midfield. So I wouldn't have thought, to be honest, King would come in. But we'll wait and see, to be fair. We'll wait and see.
What happened to him at Bournemouth? Bournemouth are on a pretty bad run at the moment, aren't they? And they've basically lost
the championship.
Other than have they still got David Brooks? They've lost a lot of talent.
I just look at the championship now and thinking, how on earth did I cope with watching football for 16 years in that horrendous division? I mean, it's an awful division. I actually watched a little bit of a game. I think it might be Norwich Middlesbrough, and I was watching it and thinking, what's on it? Neil Warnock's still managing the championship in 2021 and thinking, what on it? And Norwich are top, and I'm thinking,
it's just every game felt stressful. Yeah. I'm actually enjoying watching the football so much.
It's just so much more enjoyable, isn't it?
Yeah,
a bit less pressure. It was a bit less to win games.
It's so enjoyable. Like, obviously, I live in the northeast now, and a lot of my friends are Borough season ticket holders. And 2 years ago today, Leeds must have got beat because two of my mates were giving me stick, and it came up on my memories. And it's so sweet to be able to just put out that memory on Facebook and say, how are you getting on now, lads? Do you know what I mean?
Same with Derby, same with Chef Wednesday, same with everyone else who's ever said a word over past.
I think we were in that league so long, I had a reason to hate just about every team in the league.
Yeah.
The thing is, though, it's like when we were in Championship, I did not watch much Premier League football. I just didn't. Or Match at Day. I used to watch Match at Day religiously. I was so focused on the Championship and every game around us because you watch every game around you and every team around you because they all matter to you. Whereas now, and I actually thought, I'll still keep up with Championship because I was so focused on it. And now I haven't watched a single game this season.
No, I was exactly the same.
Yeah. I thought I'd actually keep up with it. I just can't watch it. It's just, you focus on the league you're in, and I watch all Premier League now, so I watch Match Day again and got right back into it. So it's just, I think it's your league, but I can't watch the Championship. It's dreadful. And I think someone actually said, I can't remember who said it recently, that there's not one standout team in that.
I think it was Thomas Frank.
Thomas Frank said it, actually. Yeah, there's not one standout team in that league this season like there were.
They're missing us, mate. They're missing us big time.
Yeah.
Just they're in a standout club in there. Never mind a team.
Josh King hasn't scored a goal all season, has he, for Bournemouth? So it seems maybe a little bit of a.
I think. Unfortunately, he said he came out and he said he's having some mental health issues at the moment as well.
Okay.
So I think that's why he's sort of been. I think maybe he's just needed a change.
Possibly.
So let's see.
Backup striker though for Everton, that's not a bad option. That for me, Josh King, decent option off the bench, isn't it? To be fair, but yeah, so I guess
14 Yorks who likes to who will. I can assure you now, 14. I love it, man. Football's a game full of opinions. He will be, if we get beat tomorrow, the first to say, I know nothing about football. Just because you don't watch other divisions, that does not make you a proper football fan.
Ridiculous comment. No. I've never claimed to be a fan of the beautiful game as a whole. Like, I'm not obsessed with every like brilliant style of play that certain teams have all over the world and stuff. I'm not religiously going to watch Bayern Munich when they're good or Barcelona when they're good. I've never been bothered. Like, I'm not.
You had to get that little dig then, Ned. You had to get that dig in.
I'm obsessed with Leeds and love Leeds and always have and will be focused on Leeds whatever division they're in, whoever they're playing is where my focus is. I don't care about, I'm not. Whereas someone like Bielsa, he is obsessed with football as a game as a whole. That's his philosophy. So there is people like that, and full credit to them. But it's not me. So
I agree with you. My passion is Leeds United. I'm not a football nerd. I'm not going to sit there watching Barcelona v Levante one night just because Messi's playing. I don't care. I know he's good. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, exactly. No, I'm with you. I'm with you.
Yeah.
But like Bobby says, I do like a bit of the Indian Football League from time to time.
I've definitely put a few bets on that in my time. What it is.
It's mad. I tell you about my missus with the job we used to work. She used to do. She went to India through work, and she seen Teddy Sheringham and Robbie Keane in the same hotel, and they were managing out there. Do you know what I mean? I didn't even fucking know that. And then, so that's what I mean. But yeah, they were out in India and probably picking up a paycheck. Yeah. So I said, go over and have a chat, but she wouldn't. Anyway, that's for another story. But Hermione says, have we done any training on the new pitch? Does anyone actually know that? Because it's quite interesting because we're all buzzing about this new pitch, but if they're not used to it, is it really a home game kind of vibe, you know?
Well,
when the ball's just bouncing like 20 yards in the air when we
I would imagine they've been out on it. You would hope so. The first time going on it tomorrow night would be a bit, but yeah.
But it's covered in snow, isn't it?
Pitches, well, probably. A pitch is a pitch, though, isn't it?
I love that. The Liberian under-18s footy is slept on.
It's true that I think that point is like that's what like non-league football fans say is if you don't like non-league then you don't like football. It's like no, it just means you don't support a team in a decent division. That's it.
Yeah. I used to hate that actually. Yeah, when people look at me, why don't you support Halifax? That's where you're from.
Yeah. But how many years have people not given a shit about Leeds United because we're not in the Premier League? Nobody wants to hear me banging on about Leeds in the Championship. That's why right now it's so good.
Yeah, exactly, mate. And do you know what? It is beautiful, man. It is beautiful. And I'm proud, man. I love it. It's class to see us going up and boiling piss. And I think it's going to be even better when fans are in the ground.
Yeah, exactly what I was thinking. The Premier League needed Leeds, and it always has needed Leeds.
Wait till they come to Welling Road, man. They bring the shock of their life.
Before we went up, I said for some company or other or whatever that at the end of the day, the Premier League needs Leeds because we're not necessarily at this time when I said it the best to watch on the ball. We're not going to go up and be the best team in the league. It's not what I'm saying, but we bring so much off the pitch that the Premier League's missed for so long. Atmospheres and everything's been so diluted now because of how modern football's developed up in the Premier League that we're bringing something old school back that they've missed for ages. And when fans are back, they'll get that. You can only really get half of what we can offer now, but you know, all the media hyping us up and all that, and the football itself. But when the fans are back, mate, they'll see what we're about.
Well, that's one of the other boring narratives that the media go with if Leeds lose at home all of a sudden, or we don't play that well. They say, Leeds are really missing fans, and when you play like we do, I don't think it's that. If anything, it will be better for us when it's back.
Here's something I want to put to you: does Bamford play better without fans?
Poor.
Do you think that affects it in any way?
This is sounding a bit Karen Carney for me.
No,
I tell you one thing.
I'm not saying it does.
Jack Grealish plays better without fans, Lewis.
You what?
Jack Grealish plays better without fans.
He's already getting all this, Oscar. You go chat some shit about Barcelona or something, will you? Jesus.
I don't think it's something I've considered really, but possibly.
No, I'm not for 1 minute. I'm not for 1 minute saying he is. I'm just putting the question out there because I've seen people actually bring it up, and I think it's a fair question, to be fair, because I've seen people saying that it takes a lot of the pressure and expectation off him in the moment where it may feel like he's just free to do what he wants in a way. Whereas he said before himself that in the stadium full of fans, he can feel the tension and stuff, and it can affect him. So I'm just throwing it out there.
How many times though has he been under pressure with fans in the ground, and he's come back and scored important goals and shushing fans? I think he's done it enough, and he's shown enough character to prove that it's not really an issue for him. I wouldn't go with that, to be honest.
And I think, to be fair as well, what we've got to consider when I was talking about Facebook moments, the Wigan post match popped up on my Facebook moments the other day, and I had a picture of Bamford doing this, and it said something along the lines of, "You do not have the right to cup your ears to fans when you're missing sitters like you are. It's a disgrace." So it shows you just how far we've come. It does show you just how far we've come. And I think, and I was right to say that at the time. I'll stand by that. You can't be telling me, where are you?
I remember I was with you on that, Kevin. You were like, say, I'm getting on the pitch. Yeah, I'm getting on the pitch.
There are
no, but it's true. But what I'm saying is, he has now, without fans, gone into the Prem and done what he's done. So we all appreciate him even more now. So when he's back in the grounds, I think he'll be lauded, mate, because he's been an absolute revelation.
Personally, I don't back the whole plays better without fans thing. What I personally think it is, and I know people are debating in comments now saying it's an interesting point and stuff, and that's why I brought it up, because it is an interesting topic to debate. But personally, what I think it is because we've gone up into the Prem, in the Championship, because we had that end goal of going up, especially fans there, most of the season, and the tension in the ground, that obviously adds to it. He has so much expectation on his shoulders being the front man to get the goals, that now we've achieved that and we're in Premier League, maybe he feels that he doesn't, because everyone doubted him, he didn't have that expectation. So he's just kind of thought, well, I've got naught to lose here, I'm just going to go for it. And he started to take players on. He started to shoot on his right foot. He belting unbelievable goals in that I would never expected of him last season. And he's just playing his best football he's ever played. And it's the peak of his career right now for me. I don't really
know what as well,
so
Lewis,
loving it.
This team are very engaged with the fans as well. So although there's no fans in the ground, they're still very engaged with social media and the fan base. So there will still be pressure. And when he hasn't been performing, I think he's still been feeling that, which is why these goals and like you say, the sorts of goals he's scoring make it all the more pleasing, really, for us.
Yeah. And for someone who's, maybe wrongly at times, I've always backed. I don't know, for some reason I've always backed him and just loved him. Like to see someone come full circle and have that journey and now be just playing the best football of the career and banging goals in left, right, and centre, it's just so pleasing, and kind of annoys me in a way to see people who not at times have criticised him, because that's fine, because at times he has been deserved to be criticised, but those people who constantly throughout both championship seasons just tweeted abuse at him and stuff, whereas now they're like, what a goal and stuff. And I do see the people, and I remember certain tweets from certain people, and I'm like,
name them. No,
I'm not named them. Just if he sees that himself, which I'm sure he will see a lot on Twitter and stuff, because as you say, they are engaged. and then sees them tweeting, "Oh, you know, great goal, blah blah blah." It's just so fickle, and it just annoys me because it's like
But not everyone has a measured approach to the stuff. There's a lot of people.
That's the reality of it. We are a fickle bunch, right? I would never, ever, ever at a player or anything.
No, that's what I'm on about. Criticizing players.
That's not cool.
That's what fans right. That's fine. I know you've criticized players. Joe, I've criticized players. Tweeting abuse at them constantly, shouting abuse at them at games in the warm up and then celebrating their success just pisses me off because you don't deserve to be celebrating that with people when you've not helped him on that journey and giving him abuse on the way. So it just annoys me. But you know, I'm just.
Know what, though?
Yeah, I was there. I was there at Preston. I remember at Preston away when he was getting booed, man.
Yeah,
he scored 2 as well that night.
Yeah, and those people who are booing him, guaranteed now.
In the warm-up, I was at pre-season, man. York pre-season. He was getting G's, you know what I mean? Off a certain select group.
And I guarantee those same people now will have been going mental when he belted that in against Leicester the other day.
That's what happens, you know. That's the thick.
I know, I get that, but it's just so, you know, abuse is a different level to criticism. Players.
I remember where I sit in the ground. In the northeast corner, the you know when people warm up and they have not the proper goals but the warm up goals at the side. Me and my mate used to sit there and watch Edgar Channing miss every single time warming up under Redfern.
Yeah,
and I never gave him stick, and he was absolutely shit. I don't understand it. I don't know what kind of confidence.
You're there to support the team. You are a supporter, not.
Yeah.
You don't have 35,000 haters. No, the meaning of support is.
Surely he goes in and thinks me doing this isn't going to be good because he's a player.
Exactly. You know, there's moments like if a shot goes wide, you'll be there like, oh, fuck's sake, Bamford. Do you know what I mean? But never in a warm up or anything like that or on social media, just go out of your way to give them and target abuse because it just doesn't help in any way. And they do see it. I guarantee you players do. Yeah. They do search their own names on Twitter. I'm telling you now.
But lads, what's been impressive about that and the abuse he's got is that since Nketiah left, the guy's had no competition. He's carried all this weight on his shoulders himself.
That's what I mean.
Not only Bielsa obviously perseveres with players when they're not playing well, and he makes them almost ride through that bad patch. And he's done it so many times that you're right. You can't expect everybody to have a measured approach to criticism. I've criticised Bamford at times. He does have poor games, but I don't do it to the extent where I'm not allowed to praise him when he does well. You know, if you're someone constantly hounding him, you're right. You don't have a right to praise him because you know. This is what I mean. But those people come and go. Those negative people, you don't see them as a regular feature on social media platforms. They're not. I wouldn't say they're not real fans, but they don't understand. They don't take everything into account.
Just people can't.
Bro, I wanted him gone after Derby. I wanted him gone. I said it. I do not want to see that man play for my football club again.
But you would have been high on emotion there, Joe. That's the thing.
Yeah, man. I was wounded, and I was so angry with his performance, and I thought it was a joke. However, I will always support him, and I said that in the video. I don't want him here. However, if he is here, he'll get my full backing. But at the time...
this is what I'm saying, Joe. If you have one or two moments where that's fine, but I'm on about the people who constantly through both championship seasons were atting him abuse all season after every maybe poor game or he didn't score was just... Right, I'm going to give you an exclusive now. After the I've probably told you this before, but I don't think I've ever said it online or a stream or up. After the centenary game, obviously he didn't score. Phillips got the winner. I went round because I wanted a photo with Phillips just because obviously
you told me this one.
Yeah. So I went round, and you know, all players come out and they're signing everything as they always do, taking photos with people, and I'm stood there with my mate, and Bamford comes out, bless him, with two young kids on either shoulder, and he's taking a photo, and there's someone stood near me, and as he walks past, this guy goes, "Oh, good goal today, mate," under his breath. Or I thought it was under his breath, but everyone heard it. And you sort of saw Bamford sort of just look up. And he finished the photo with kids, and he still got one on the shoulder on this fence. And he looked up and he went, "Say it to my face then." And I swear to God, everyone in the area, it just silenced. You could hear a pin drop. He went, "Say it to my face." And he stood there and his face went white, everyone looking at him, and he went,
Yes, I love that.
Honestly,
I love that.
he just went, good. I just went, "Good goal today, mate." And he went, "Yeah, don't shit yourself." Bamford literally. Two kids. Yeah, he went, two kids either side of him on this fence. Everyone went,
You
"Don't
wouldn't
shit yourself."
expect him to have that sort of passive.
Honestly, straight reaction. And he just walked off. And I thought,
mate, that says everything about him.
There's everything about anyone who gives him abuse would shit themselves.
Yeah.
Having to say it to his face.
Yeah.
So I have so much respect for, and to see how far he's come, this is what I mean, and just prove that all those people are wrong. So
that's quality.
He's in his element right now. But yeah, love that.
I think I'm just going to give him a right hook, to be fair, but that's just me.
He was fuming. But yeah, he walked off, by the way, the guy.
We won the game. What is that bloke's problem?
I know. But yeah.
Not only that, the manner in which, Yorkshire's Perlo scores the winner on, it was an amazing day. Fireworks.
That's what I mean.
Come round and have to say that to your striker.
Bamford lives in that bloke's head now.
No, that bloke will be celebrating his goals now. This is what pisses me off.
Yeah.
This is what it is, mate. But yeah, I thought I'd just bring that up because it's just one of my best memories of just last season, just that. So yeah.
Good lad.
Nice.
Well, guys, we've done about we've done an hour and 20. I guess we'll leave it there on that note. And Bamford's. I kind of do wish he had knocked that fan out, to be fair, but maybe that's just.
Well, he did have two young kids either side of him with his arms out on this fence, so
it needs must sometimes. Needs must.
It would have been impressive. It would have been. He'd have ran off anyway, but he did walk off straight after, shot himself. So.
Well, there we go. On that note, we'll leave it there.
We'll leave it on that. Go on, Bam.
Big thanks to both Lewises, Big Lou and LUFC Lewis. I guess we'll leave it there. We'll be back tomorrow night at 7:30 kickoff.
What time's kickoff?
7:30, I believe this one. 7:30. So 7:30.
Okay.
So we'll be on about 6:30.
Yeah.
We will be on at 6:30. And we're going to try something different as well. After the game, we're going to try a live post-match, but we will let you know a little bit more about that on game day. Probably a couple of minutes after the kickoff, we'll do a live post-match reaction as well. Player ratings as always, and of course, the watch-along. Make sure you check it out, guys. Like this video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done already, and subscribe to LUFC Lewis and LS11 where you'll find Big Lou. And we'll leave it there, guys, anyway. All Leeds TV. And we're going to win tomorrow.
Leeds TV.
Come on, Leeds.
And we'll do the awkward way.